Hello! Today I want to talk about how the need for quantifiable goals, SMART goals, and really what we've been taught how goal setting should be can actually be really dangerous for our real purpose and enjoyment in life. Hello, Dale Majors here, and welcome to another video. If you want to be better tomorrow than you are today, then you'll want to follow along. And if you enjoy the content, give it a like and a subscribe, and thank you for being here. Today, I want to talk about goal setting and the danger of creating quantifiable goals. Quantifiable goals in and of themselves are not bad, and they can be really powerful, but we are surrounded by all these frameworks of goal setting that require specificity and the ability to quantify said goal. For example, SMART, you have specific and measurable. We need to know exactly what it's going to look like. So a lot of times, there are a few issues with this. First off, a lot of times we get discouraged because we don't have quantifiable goals, especially when we are at the beginning of our journey. I was just coaching some college-age kids about goal setting. We were going through our HATS model. I have a whole other video about that goal setting structure, and there's room for specificity there. But when you're setting a goal, a lot of times you may know like what the hope or the dream is, like what your peak looks like, but you don't know exactly how to quantify it. You may know, which we call the actual outcome. So we know what the hope and the dream looks like. We may not know what the actual outcome looks like. We know what tactics we can use to employ it, and we know how we can specifically track those tactics, but we don't have the whole set. So we think, well, we don't have complete goals. It can be discouraging. So what I would really recommend and encourage for anybody out there wanting to set goals and being discouraged that their goals aren't perfectly set out in the SMART formula is just realizing that if you can even check, 4 or 5 of those boxes, with SMART, if you can check most of the boxes, then you're a whole lot better off than I want to be a buff bodybuilder, right? So in the HATS model, we talk about having the hope and the dream. That's like, I know that I want to climb to the top of that mountain over there, but man, I don't know how I'm going to get there, and I don't know when. But I do know that if I get up every day and I start walking towards there, and that I'll probably end up there someday, right? And we don't know now that we'll have to learn how to rock climb and use an ice pick and learn how to belay, but we're going to make our way there, and we'll arrive there someday. All right, so another danger of needing to quantify all of our goals is a lot of life attributes that we should be seeking after are not quantifiable. I want to be a nice person. I want to be a good person. I want to be charitable. I want to be kind. I want to be generous. But some of those attributes, I want to be humble. I want to be, there are all these things that it's really hard to quantify. You can't say, hey Dale, where are you on your generousness meter? And that one, heck, you could say, how much money did you give away? How much time did you spend with people? But how do you measure charitability? How do you measure patience? And a lot of these other attributes. So if all of our goals need to be put into this structure that's nice and clean and tight and OCD, and hey, do you have your goals written, then it can be really dangerous. So that's where I would say that, especially with our HATS model, that you fill it out mostly. You fill it out most of the way. You do your best. And then once you've done your best to say, here's what I want, here's how as specific as I can get around it, here's what I'm going to do to get it, and here's how often I'm going to do those things, then that's enough, and you should be very confident in your goal setting. Write those things down, and then just go forward and make progress. But don't worry about making the perfect goals, because a lot of things can't be quantified. So I hope you enjoyed it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole, the dangers of goal setting and maybe how that's held you back in the past and what you've done about it. Thanks for being part of the channel, and I will see you on my next video.